concept is great. It's just like I said, the verbiage is not there.
No, it's not right. No, it's just, yeah.
And kind of going back to what you said, you can work on something for all day long, sitting at your computer working on this, and then feel like you've gotten nothing done, right? Well, that's self-management. That's how are you using your time? And something I started doing just at the beginning of the year and right before 2021 happened is at the end of the day, I've got a dry erase board. I've got several dry erase boards in my office. I have an addiction. I have a problem. I'm addicted to the smell. And at the end of the day, I just at the top of the board, it says what I did today, and I put the date on it. And I just start listing the things I did that day. And it's not specific like I got up, I went to the bathroom, I ate. No, it's the things I accomplished that day that I wanted to accomplish.
Talking with the experts.
Hello and welcome to Talking with the Experts. My name's Rose Davidson from rose-davidson.com. And Talking with the Experts is about all things business by business owners for business owners. And you can catch it on all good podcasting, streaming platforms and on YouTube. And it is my pleasure today to introduce you to Fred Moore. Now, Fred is the bald guy, and he's never had a bad hair day in his life. So when you see him, you'll understand why. So his business is called So Much to Do, and we're going to be discussing productivity. And he is a speaker and entrepreneur who had to keep himself motivated and focused on what he wants to get out of life. He brings his tried and true techniques to get you to your goals and help you save time and just plain get more done. And, his last line in his intro is, please welcome a man who's never had a bad day in his life, bad hair day in his life. There you go. And I even messed that up. So
that's all right.
Okay. So he loves it. He loves his time, and his time's precious. So tell me why that is, Fred.
Well, I mean, we all have the most precious resource that we all either use or don't use or fritter away, and that's time. I mean, we all have it in a limited amount of time on this planet, and we don't know what that time is. Here in the U.S., we have a bucket list. I'm assuming you have the same thing down there,
do.
Right? Bucket list, right? I love the concept of a bucket list, but my thought is like, okay, when are you going to kick the bucket? I mean, do you know? Unless your birth certificate has an expiration date, you probably don't know. You know what I'm saying? Yeah. So a bucket list is great, but when are you going to do it? So that's why I always try to use the time that I have wisely, whether it's work or play or whatever. And I always make sure, I try to make sure anyway, that it's balanced. I mean, if I use my time wisely and get the most out of the work time, then I have more play time. And inherently, I'm a lazy guy. I want to get things done as fast and as easy as possible. And I've spent hours and hours doing something and later going, why did I spend all that time doing that when I could have finished it in an hour? It would have been perfect, but it would have been close enough,
Yes.
So yeah.
And as a recovering perfectionist, I can understand that fully. I spend a lot of time making things perfect when good enough is perfect.
Exactly. And, I mean, authors and creators like yourself and everyone else out there, it's never done. It's never going to be done. I mean, authors will go back and rewrite, but you just got to put it out there and then warts and all, as they say here, and just hope for the best.
That's exactly right. Because I, apart from doing podcasting, I do PowerPoint presentations, slides, and make videos for my clients. And, if it's like 1 second out or even half a second, I'm freaking. When, really, who's going to notice?
Yep.
My husband used to tease me because I used to take a measuring tape or a ruler out to the garden to make sure the plants were exactly, spaced evenly right across the
Yeah.
bed.
Well, you're doing that for the health of the plants, though, right?
Of course.
It's not just your ADD, OCD, MOUSE, or whatever that is. It's it's for the plants. Yeah, it's for the
It is
plants.
for the plants, and of course for the look, so yeah, but it's not very productive.
No. And it's funny you say that working for clients. I find that if I'm creating something for a client, I put more into it because I don't want to disappoint the client. I want them to be happy. And then I end up like not making any money on it because I've spent too much time or supplies or effort into this. And going like, my overhead is just gone now. So I just,
Yeah, I used to make
that
jewelry
perfectionism thing.
And little hats, that women wear to the races and stuff. And, if a thing was just a tiny bit out of place, I'd start all over again because I just wasn't happy. And really, it's a waste of time. It is.
Yeah, it is. But it's, I guess it's human nature for some people.
Yeah, shouldn't they, though? So
we'll get through it. I think what they say, the first step is recognizing and acknowledging you have a problem, and then you can tackle the problem.
Yeah. So in your bio here, you talk about some brainstorming techniques for tracking problems. What sort of techniques do you use?
There's one that I use that didn't start out as a brainstorming technique. It started out as a different thing to do rather than making New Year's resolutions. Right? This is something that everyone does. New Year's Eve, we all make resolutions. This year, I'm gonna do this.
And who does it?
Exactly, and nobody does it. And then the next year, you go, oh yeah, well this year's gonna be different. It's like yeah. Keep telling yourself that. So I was coming up on my 50th birthday, was in a few months, and it was New Year's Eve. And I was thinking about, my 50th birthday. I said, you know what I'm going to do? Instead of, making New Year's resolutions, I'm going to make a list of 50 things I'm going to do this year for my 50th birthday. And some of these things were things I've always wanted to do. And some of these things are, like big things, but little things. And, I went on a police ride along, which is really cool. Yeah, it was, it was the night shift.
I know why. You were arrested for something, weren't you?
Yeah, really. I didn't want to go on the police ride along, but hey, all right, I was in the back. But I mean, I did all sorts of, and prior to this, I'd gone skydiving and bungee jumping and all that stuff. So I had a limited list really, because it's like 50 things that a lot of people was like, oh, I've always wanted to do this. I was like, oh yeah, I did that already. So I had to sit down and start thinking. Like I had to get specific with these things, and because I wanted to come up with 50, one thing a week, and give myself 2 weeks off for the year. And so I started brainstorming, and then I thought about it. I thought, what, this idea I can probably apply to other things. So I applied it the next year for New Year's. 50 ways I'm going to make money this year. Most people have one way to make money. They have a job, but there's lots of different ways you can make a little bit of money, a lot of money. I could sell products. I could write a book and all. And then that pushed me to the idea of it. This is a great brainstorming exercise. So here's, after all that preamble, I built it up. It better be good, right? I call it a 50 ways list. And I have a specific goal. And on this goal, I'm going to come up with 50 ways that I can do this thing, 50 action steps I can take to do this thing. Now, why 50? Well, it started because I was turning 50 and I want to come up with 50 things. But I found what that does is if I have to come up with 10 or 20 ways to do this goal, then I could probably come up with 10 or 20 ways. But if I have to push myself to come up with 50 ways, then a few things are going to happen. I'm going to start thinking outside of the box, outside of the norm, and I'm going to come up with ideas that I probably wouldn't have come up with if I'd limited myself to 10 or 20. And then also it's going to start making these action steps specific. Example I always use, common goal amongst everyone is a weight loss goal. So you make a list of 10 or 20 ways you can lose weight, the common ones. I'm going to exercise. I'm going to cut out soda. I'm going to watch what I eat. I'm going to go jogging. Well, you need to come up with 50 ways so you get more specific, right? Rather than I'm going to exercise, I'm going to start running 2 miles every day. I'm going to take a Zumba class. I'm going to go skydiving. I don't know how that would make you lose weight. Maybe the screaming on the way down. Ah!
Or the other, you know.
Yeah. So then you're going to get specific with these action steps. And then, like I said, you're going to start thinking of things you hadn't thought of before if you would have just stopped. And they might be crazy ideas. They might be stupid ideas, but you come up with at least 50. And the cool thing is that when I work with companies and we do this exercise, I have like a department will do this exercise, but they won't do it as a group. They'll do it individually. So rather than the group coming up with 50 ways, I've got 20 people in this department each coming up with 50 ways on their own. Now there's a lot of duplicates. They're going to duplicate the ideas and stuff because of their industry, but there's going to be some that one person thought of that nobody else did. So now they come away with not just 50 ideas, they come up with 60 or 70 ideas. So now when it comes time we get to that point when we're going for a goal or whatever, where you get kind of frustrated with what you're doing, maybe isn't getting you the results that you want, it's not working and all that. And you're like, I don't know what to do. Well, you have a choice of 49 other things to do, right? Because you're trying this thing, and if it's not getting you the results you want, well, pick one out of the list and try that for a while. And then pick one out. So now you don't have that excuse of, well, I don't know how to make this happen. I don't know what to do. It's really helped me.
And it helps. It's a really good idea. I like that. I'm going to steal that now.
There you go. It's not steal it. It's use it. Use it and abuse it.
I'm going to use it. Okay. Yeah. I'm going to borrow it long term.
Yeah.
So tell me a little bit about the magic of productivity blocks. What is that?
Anytime I'm working on a specific tasks, and I've come across this so many times where I need to work on something. And so I'm working on it and I'm focused on it. I'm working on it. And then I look and it's like 2 or 3 hours have gone by and I'm still not done with this thing, right? Again, it goes back to that perfectionist in us all. So productivity blocks are blocks of times. Some people call it time chunking, time blocks, time minute, whatever. But I will schedule out in my day specific blocks of time. All right, I'm going to spend 50 minutes this hour working on this one task. And it's just one thing. It's not like, I'm going to work on my website. No, I'm going to work on the copy on my website on this specific page on that website. So it's not just a broad thing. It's one task. Because if it's not one task, then it's 2 or 3 other things in your mind, and you go down that rabbit hole and you check your email, and before you know it, you're not doing anything. So I take 50 minutes in that hour and I'm working on one thing. So it's that block of time. Then that other 10 minutes, I take a quick break. I get up, I walk around, I go to the bathroom, I get some water, pet the dog, play with the kids, whatever, and then go back to it. And then I start my next productivity block of time.
Yeah, so you do a bit like the Pomodoro method.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah, Pomodoro, I think it's 25 minutes, isn't it? Something like that.
But I think it is, but it's very similar.
Yeah, very similar, very similar. Yeah, because I've done the same thing where it's like, all right, well, if I work for 2 hours straight on this thing, it's like, yeah, but then after those 2 hours, your brain starts to go, stop it, just stop what you're doing. Can I just look outside for a moment?
See, I'm a bit of when I get stuck into something, I can't just leave it. I have to finish it. So, I mean, I could be sitting here at my computer doing whatever I'm doing for a whole day.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. Now, you're doing that same thing all day long, or I mean, like a project, like you said,
like a project, yeah.
Right. Yeah.
Which is very naughty because I rarely get up out of the seat unless I have to go, or get a drink.
Right.
So, but that's it. And it's really bad. It's too much time. I'm spending too much time on this one thing.
Hmm.
I understand. I know I am, but I realize then the day's gone, and I think, geez, what have I achieved today?
Exactly.
Hmm.
Exactly. Yeah. And that doing these time blocks like that, I'll set a timer on my computer or my phone.
Hmm.
And like you said, I mean, I've done that too. Well, I'll be sitting in my chair in my office for 3 or 4 hours. And at the end of the day, think, what did I get done? But
Yeah.
once I started doing the productivity blocks of time, then it's like, all right, I can look at my calendar and go, all right, I got this and I got this and I got this and I got this done.
Yeah,
And
well, that's a good plan. But people have advised me to do that, and I just think, yeah, I'll get round to it, but then I have never done it. But
exactly, that's the problem is, starting doing it. Yeah, you have to make it
discipline
a
yourself.
habit.
Yeah,
You
it's a
know?
discipline, isn't it?
Yeah, yeah. Like with anything, it's discipline.
Yeah. So I know when people, set goals for themselves, they, obviously have a target in mind or whatever. But what do people leave out when they're setting their goals?
For me, the most important thing is, and it's like you said, it's what most people leave out, and I don't know anyone's really teaching this. Uh, it's setting a time to evaluate what you're doing. One of the things I teach is when setting a goal is having a game plan, and of course, I'm a speaker, so there's got to be an acronym in there somewhere, right? Uh, so the game plan is the acronym. It stands for goal, actions, motivation, and evaluation. Um, I just noticed I'm doing the European county, 1, 2, 3, 4, as opposed to 1, 2, 3, 4. So my wife's from Europe, so I think that rubbed off on me.
Uh, any excuse.
Exactly. But yeah, so you have a specific goal in mind. You've defined your actions. You can go to your 50 ways list. You've defined some sort of motivation. What's your reward for you? A lot of people teach that. But if you don't set some time, I always set Fridays, uh, 30 minutes or so to evaluate the actions I'm taking to see if they're getting me the results I want or not. And a lot of times we'll keep doing the same thing over and over, and we're not getting the results that we want, but let me keep on trying, because if I keep on trying, right, they say, never give up, right? Keep on trying. Well, yeah, keep on trying, but if the specific actions you're taking are not working, why are you doing them? It's
Mm,
not getting you the result you want. But that part of your brain is telling you, well, I'm being productive, I'm doing something, right? Like when you should be working on one thing, but you're going and I need to clean up my desk. That's what I need to do. Or, oh, I need to clean out these files on my laptop. Yeah, it's being productive, but it's not doing what you're supposed to be doing. So Fridays, I take and I look at the actions I'm taking. Am I getting traction? Am I getting results? And usually these actions I'm taking are measurable in some way or another. Am I getting more likes on my videos on Facebook? Am I getting engagement in my live streams? And on my cold email outreaches, am I getting responses? Am I getting people? Am I people checking out my website? Are they clicking on the links? And then I can look and see, all right, well, if that's not working, then I need to change that. I need to try something else until I get the results that I want. It's like a magic formula, right? Oh,
okay. Magic formula. Right. Magic wand.
magic wand? Yeah, sure. More like a mouse, kind of a magic wand. Right.
Okay, so I guess that brings us to why time management is a joke. Why is that? Why isn't it? Why do people so strict on the time management thing when, I mean, even I know that it's not a good productivity tool.
Yeah, yeah. And it's not that it's not a good productivity tool, but that the concept, I think the idea is a little bit skewed, because we can't manage time, right? We can't make 1 hour into 2 hours. We can't stretch a day into a week or compress it or anything like that. I mean, if you've been sitting there watching a bad movie with your spouse and they're into it and you're not, that, maybe you can stretch an hour and a half into 6 hours, because it'll seem like it, but it's still that same amount of time. So you can't manage time. You can only manage yourself. right? And how you use that time. I was talking about the movie. I remember years ago, me and my wife were watching a movie, and I don't want to say the name of the movie, Spanglish.
Right. You didn't say
and
anything. I didn't hear it.
nothing. Just a little cough. And we got through the movie, and it just, if you like the movie, good on you. But me, no. And I just turned my wife. I said, that was just like the stupidest thing I've ever seen. She was like, I know, right? I go, why did we watch it? She's like, well, I thought you were enjoying it. I know, I thought you were enjoying it. So it's just like, all right. So we made a pact. It's like, all right, from now on, 10 minutes into the movie, are we good? We good? Yeah, okay, good. And sometimes she'll be like, well, I like it. I'm like, well, I'm not. So I'm going to bail and I'll go do something, or whatever.
More
but so we
productive.
figured out, yeah. So yeah, managing yourself is what's important about the time management.
Yeah, I think yeah, you're right. It is about managing yourself. You can't manage time, as you said. I think the concept's a little bit. I think the words are not right for what it actually is.
The concept is great. It's just like I said, the word is, the verbiage is not there.
No, it's not right. No, it's just
And kind of going back to what you said, you can work on something for all day long, sitting at your computer working on this, and then feel like you've gotten nothing done, right? Well, that's self-management. That's how are you using your time? And something I started doing just at the beginning of the year, and right before 2021 happened, is at the end of the day, I've got a dry erase board. I've got several dry erase boards in my office. I have an addiction. I have a problem. I'm addicted to the smell. And at the end of the day, I just at the top of the board, it says what I did today, and I put the date on it. And I just start listing the things I did that day. And it's not specific, like I got up, I went to the bathroom, no, it's the things I accomplished that day that I wanted to accomplish. I spent 2 hours prospecting. I met with a client virtually and helped them get more time out of their week. I, took the kids to school. I went on a date with my wife. And I just start listing. And the first few times I did, I kind of surprised myself, because I had one of those days where I was like, I don't feel like I got anything done today. And I started listing it, and I realized, oh, okay. Well, I did do that, and I did do that, and I did do that.
Yeah. Sorry.
Go ahead. Yeah.
Yeah, I did the same. Someone put a post up once, and what did you do today? And I listed about 10 things, and I thought I didn't realize I'd done that many things, but I had.
Yeah.
And it surprised me that I had been doing something when I thought, I'd just been wasting my time.
Exactly. And what I'll do with it too is, a lot of times, you start thinking, well, what did I do today? And it's a simple thing as going over your browser history, and you can tell what you did that day. So, oh yeah. And so I'll list that, and I'll take a picture with it with my phone, and I've got a file folder on my phone, what I did today, 2021.
Yeah.
And so now I've got all those in there. I don't do this every day. I do it Monday through Friday, my work days. And so now if I'm ever in a thing where it's like, I'm not getting anything done, I can look back on it, use it as motivation, use it as inspiration. Or some days it's like, wow, I really didn't get anything done that day. And then some days it's like, we went to Disney, and it's like, that's a good day. That's a good thing,
Yeah. Oh, well, that's a productive day. You go to Disneyland.
Exactly.
Well, have you written any books yet, Fred?
I've written 2 books, actually. Do So Much More, which was my first book, which I'm in the process. The process, we all know that, right? Of rewriting it and putting out a new edition of it, updated version of it. And the other is called Beyond Good Enough. It's about, we get to that point where things are good enough, right? Now that's great, especially when it comes to productivity and the perfectionism, but there's always a point where we can go beyond that. And going beyond good enough and making things just a little bit better. It's surprising how you don't have to make something twice as good to beat your competition. You only have to make it like 5 or 10% better, either the process or the product or the book or the video or whatever. Just that much better, and it's gonna outshine your competition. So, but yeah, they do so much more. That's the one I'm kind of circling back on and digging down, and that's the brand I'm focusing on now.
And where are they? Where are they listed?
You can find them on Amazon. You can also go to dosomuchmore.com. Plug.
Yes.
Yeah.
So that's your website,
obviously. Yep.
Perfect. And you're on Instagram and on YouTube and on LinkedIn. Oh, Link with Fred. Wow, that's a great name. And Fred on
makes
Facebook.
It easier. I bought Fred on Facebook, about Link with Fred, Fred on YouTube. Just to make it easier for people to find me. Right?
Yep. Sounds like a perfect plan. Yep. So you've got a podcast?
I do not. I should.
You should.
I totally should.
You totally should. You've got heaps of good information you could share with everyone.
Oh, absolutely. Yeah. I do. I just started doubling down on live streaming. So I've been doing a lot of that these last few months.
You turn them into podcasts. You know that,
absolutely.
Don't you?
Absolutely. Yeah.
Pretty easy.
Yeah, exactly. I did a podcast interview a couple of months ago, and the guy told me, we were talking afterwards, and he's like, dude, you need to do a podcast. I'm like, why? He goes, I've gotten so much work from podcasts. He goes, I interview people I want to work with, companies. And, and I said, well, what's your problem? What are you working on? He's like, and I start telling him solutions like, oh, maybe we should work together. It's like, what a great idea. It's genius.
Yes. What this 5hoursback.com is about.
Well, that is just an easy tool that people can download. It's a PDF. It's 9 simple things that you can do that, if you kind of add up all the time saved in them, will get you at least 5 hours back in your week. And that's 5 hours that you can use to either get more work done, or what I like to do, have more fun, right? And have that thing that we're all looking for, free time, right? I put air quotes, free time, because it's like, well, it's not free time, is it? But we can use it. Again, it goes back to that time management. Is really self-management.
Should be called self-management, really, not time management.
Oh, exactly. But self-management, I mean, that could be a lot of things, couldn't it? It could be like maintaining your health, or stopping yourself from doing something you shouldn't be doing. So
right. Don't know.
Self-time management. How about that? Quick, somebody copyright that. Who's faster, right?
Oh, Fred, it's been an absolute delight speaking with you. It really has. Thank you so much for coming on tonight, or today, or ever. I've really
tonight, today, whoever, wherever you are listening to this or watching this right now.
That's it. All right. Well, thanks again, and we'll talk again very soon.
Thank you so much. It's been a pleasure.
See ya.
Good day.
Good day.